Today's video is powered by Hawpog.
Skip it up and that up.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Rich of Review Tech USA, and oh my god, you can see her vagina! So man, these CEOs actually have brains now. It's interesting to see what these guys have to say on consoles, next generation, so on and so forth. Kotaku spoke to John Riccitiello, the former CEO of EA. He was just, I guess, let go, retired, was fired, but won't say he was fired from EA. And he kind of said, you know, the stakes are high for next generation, and these are the things that Sony and Microsoft need to either do or avoid. And I read through the article, and I took bullet points, and I'm going to give you my take on what he had to say. This is Brutal Doom, by the way, that you're watching. It's a mod for the original Doom, and it should give you a boner. It makes the game, Doom, the original Doom, is fun enough as it is. It makes the original Doom, albeit the graphics aren't up to snuff, next generation, and it makes the gameplay like 30 times more fun from the original Doom, and the original Doom is amazing to begin with. So, yeah. Anyway, so this is what John Riccitiello had to talk about. The first thing he said is that they need to deliver next-gen experiences, not just graphics. Graphics are part of it, that the current consoles couldn't muster. They need to implement new online features, like what Sony's doing, for example, with the whole share button. I think that's a brilliant idea, and I agree with them. You know, it's not going to be solely about graphics this time. You can't just make a straight box and, you know, just wow people with visuals, because of the law of diminishing returns, like I said before. And to put that kind of hardware that would truly blow someone away in these next-gen consoles would be a retarded amount of money. So, yeah, the graphics are going to improve. There's going to be better textures, more anti-aliasing, better lighting, so on and so forth, but it's not going to be jaw-dropping. So they need to do things that entice people in other ways. And the share button that Sony has is a damn good start. I'm going to be interested to see what Microsoft brings to the table when they announce the next Xbox. Now, this one is huge, and John is so dead on about it. Don't make gaming become second, okay? He says at the end of his quote here, what he was talking about, it's about the game, stupid. And he's so right. What's the problem is, and what he's afraid of, is that they're going to make the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox 720, these media boxes where gaming's just going to be like, oh yeah, you could put a game in it, but you could do this. You could have it be your cable box. You could have it hooked to Hulu. You could have it stream stuff. You could have it do everything else. So who cares about gaming? You know, play Dance Party. And he's afraid that if they go down that route, what he said in his quote is that it was the gamers that got Sony and Microsoft where they are now. If they forget that, kind of like it's happened before, that's why you see all these developers trying to flock to Android and iOS. Oh, let's just make casual games. They can take 3 days to make, and we can make the same amount of money. But you got to realize it was the gamers who got you where you are. All right, and if everyone tries to go flood the casual market will be flooded, and you know, you'll see development companies going out of business that way too. You got to make sure that games come first, okay? I'm not saying that, you know, I'm big into Hulu, man. I like the way Hulu runs in the Wii U, okay? I think it's a great feature. Yes, add the multimedia features, but gaming has to come first. You have to give those kick-ass AAA titles that are going to entice people and make them want to buy your next-gen hardware. Don't forget that, Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo. Remember, it's about the games. The games come first. No question about it. And this one was another good point, and it sounds so obvious, like, duh, John, no kidding, but it's happened so many times in the past before. I think the Wii U, probably because it didn't sell as well as Nintendo hoped, is the first time a console was readily available. Don't make sure there's not a shortage of the PS4 and 720. It's very frustrating. It doesn't... How many times in previous generations, I can remember even being a kid. I remember the Turbo Express when I was like 9 or 10 years old. I actually got one of those. I told you I was a spoiled little shit. And my parents could not find one anywhere, you know, and I think there is also times in the past where the company's like, oh, if we make them wait, they may want it more, and people who are on the fence, if there's not one around, when they see one, they'll buy it as an impulse buy. It isn't going to work like that, especially because it's really going to be I don't think the multiple console, and minus nerds like me, I don't think that, people are going to be buying multiple consoles. And if like the PS4 is on the shelf and the Xbox 720 isn't, or vice versa, or even the Wii U. Hey, I was going to go buy a PS4, but the Wii U's here. PS4 is out of stock and the 720 is out of stock. Yeah, they have that new Zelda game now, right? Maybe we'll pick up a Wii U. You'll shoot yourselves in the foot, man. Make sure you better be churning out those PS4s and 720s right now. John is dead on about this. Make sure there is ample supply. Don't try to play. If shit happens where, a chipset's not being manufactured properly, there's nothing you could do. But if you're just going to think that playing the, if it's not there, I want it more game is going to work in your favor, I don't think so, Bob. I wouldn't go down that route. Make sure there's plenty of your next-gen console for people to buy, because that'll make the sales perk up. And another one, I've said this a billion times before, and I'm glad someone who's making 8 figures a year agrees with me. Make sure the price is right. I think that Sony and Microsoft know this. I know they're not going to pull a PS3 again unless they're really that out of touch with reality. But yeah, it's going to be about that price point, man. I really feel that if you go above that $400 price point, you're entering dangerous territory, and people are going to really second guess. People just don't have the money. It's not like it was in 2006 that, disposable cash isn't there. Especially because people don't realize, like I said before too, gaming is an adult hobby. It's not, people, contrary to what politicians think, little kids make up a fraction of gaming, and if a guy in his 30s has a wife and 2 kids, or vice versa, a woman in her early 30s has a wife and 2 kids, and it's between paying the light bill or, buying a PS4, I think they're going to pay the light bill. It's just me. So if you make your console too expensive, it's going to make it unobtainable. And, people aren't, it isn't like, everyone, oh my God, I need those graphics. They'll just stick to what they have now if they can't afford the next generation. So make it affordable, make it something that's obtainable, and you'll see them fly off the shelves. Now, the last one John talked about is DRM, and he kind of worded it in an interesting way. He's saying, don't shove DRM down consumers' throats, all right? If they get a new console, they put a game in, and all these different DRM schemes, the people are going to get pissed off. And that's true. The way he worded it in the article, though, is like, just ease them into the DRM. Slowly, make the DRM creep up on them. At least that's how I read it. Maybe I read it wrong. I read it a couple times. But yeah, he's right about, at least, I don't agree with DRM whatsoever. I really don't think it helps anything at all. But yeah, if you're going to do it no matter what, Sony and Microsoft, don't shove it down people's throats, okay? I really don't think you should do the DRM route anyway, but especially from the get-go, especially, if someone takes home, they get their PS4 or 720 out of the box, and, the first thing is that they have to set up all this crap to make sure, the always online, which I don't think Microsoft is going to do. And then they have to punch in all these codes, these serial codes that come in, which, EA just dropped. So I really don't think those online passes are going to last too much longer. But yeah, he's right. You shove DRM down people's throats, especially that people are raging. Look how pissed off people were about the rumors about the 720 always being online. You want to turn people off and have them totally just say, screw the next gen. Force that DRM on them, man. Watch what happens. John, again, is right. Cool out with the DRM. If you do it, you're going to make the consumer very angry. DRM, cripples the product they're buying. Look at what happened with, I think it was Assassin's Creed 2 with Ubisoft when they did the always online thing. How well did that work out? Be careful. He's right about that one too. DRM is dangerous, and in the end, it really doesn't help anybody. So as you see, guys, I pretty much agree with everything John had to say. What's your take on it? Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Yes, I actually do read them. I may not always have time to respond, but I do read what you have to say. And if you have an interesting news article you would like me to discuss, private message me with a link via YouTube. And if I use your news article, I will give you a shout out in the video and feature your YouTube channel in the description. Have a good one.